The history of the southern Chou Gар praying mantis Kung Fu dates back to the southern Shaolin monastery of southern China. The name of the founder was Zhao. He spent many years in the Shaolin monastery developing this system. The top Shaolin monks at that time gave Zhao the full cooperation to develop this system. He harnessed the hidden powers of the body through the vast range of training exercises that became unique to the southern praying mantis. The form that you see here was to stimulate the gang or shock powers. Developing this inch force power, one has to undergo a training program with all the conditioning exercises that go along with this system. This exercise is called Yukio Chaisel. Its aim is to develop the legs, arms and the trunk of the body. One such exercise, Doijong, is a two-man training that develops one's sensitivity, strength, balance and footwork. When you have gone through such exercises, then you condition your body with hitting exercises. Here is Big Boy. This is taught when your gum gong or golden bell or iron shirt cover, as is known in English, is developed to a sufficient standard. Gao Choi is a hand hitting exercises and is the first part of Dit Sha Jern or iron palm. No system is complete without the knowledge of knowing how and where to hit, and the Chou Gar praying mantis Kung Fu teaches those vital aspects. Now let's take a look at Sapat Yao Long. First, the claw goes over the blocking hand. It's moving forward, as we can see in the picture. One hand is underneath the other, used as a block, while the other pushes forward with the claw. And again moving forward. Usually opposite hand to opposite leg in this particular action of the Sapat Yao Long. Now very slowly we can see the left hand over the right hand or the right over the left. If the left hand is in front, and so the right leg is in front, and vice versa. From the side we can see the action once more. Moving forward as well as coming back. Use the hand that is low to block, the other hand on top to palm or to claw. And again we can see from the side. The next sabbat is turning dragon. As you sweep round with either leg, the opposite hand comes up. Returning back, this technique is done in the form itself. Sweep round, claw. See, sweep. We can make 2 steps with this action, and we can go in all of the 4 directions with this particular movement. From the side, again, the left hand sweeps or the right hand sweeps very low, almost like catching the opponent's leg. Sweep round with either one of your legs and come up with the hands. And very slowly we can see the action. 2 steps made there, claw up with the left or right hand. Sweep up, coming round and sweep up. Now let's take a look at the next sabbat yolong. Moving forward using 3 claws, and if you're in your left stance or right stance, then the right hand should be in front of whichever stance you're in. So if you're in your right stance, the right hand should be in front. If you're on your left, the left hand should be in front. The claws action is made one after another, going back and forward. From the side, we can see it's almost like climbing. This technique is climbing dragon. It's also found in one of our advanced forms called Bo Sim Sao, which means to search. The technique is useful in offensive maneuvers of the sabbat yolong form. Here we can see the action again, very slowly. And moving forward this time, 1, 2, 3, right hand in front, left hand right, left, then right, then left, and again right, left and right, left, right and left. The next technique is to parry and to strike, shifting your weight back onto the back leg or back onto the stance and striking underneath. This technique can be done in both left and right stance. From the side we can see striking upwards. Moving forward, striking, this time very slow. From the front we can see one hand parries and the other hand pushes up. Coming back is exactly the same as going forward. Now let's see the next technique, starting from the side. This time it's a absorbing technique, dragon absorbing, literally to take your opponent's force and then do a double palm strike to one of the important areas of the body, which will be explained in this video in the application later. This can be done on both sides. in either stance with either the left or right leg forward. Absorbing and double palm strike. One important aspect of doing this particular technique is to have your chest in. The chest should be concaved. This is to stop your opponent when he's being pulled in towards you and then pushed to the side, to prevent him from palming you or using his elbow. So take the opponent's force to the side and use your double palm strike. Can be done on either stance and explained in the picture here, showing it done on either side. Bring in, double palm, bring in, double palm, bring in, palm, bring in again and palm, bring in, palm, bring in and palm. Don't forget to sort of shift your weight slightly to the rear leg in order to get the maximum absorption and to finally land the two vital dragon palms onto the vital points. From the front we can see how this technique works. Bring in and palm. Pull in, double palm. Pull in, double palm, and double palm. Again, as explained earlier, can be done on both sides. You must also understand that doing things soft does not mean to say they are done slowly. Soft things can be done with full speed as well. Pull in and double palm strike, pull in and double palm, bring in and palm. Coming forward and palm. Now let's have a look at the next sabbat yaolong. This is a two dragon claw strike to the side, taking your opponent's force and landing a dragon claw or palm to the side of the head. This can be done with great speed, and it's to turn your opponent to the side in order to land a strike to the opponent's vital point on top of the head. Moving forward very fast, and the same going back. Very slowly we can see the action. Also, a claw can turn into a palm by clawing first and then palming, or to palm then to claw. The options go according to the situation of a self-defense encounter. Leading leg forward with the rear hand forward. Going to the front. The next technique is to bring down, shifting the weight on both your legs, bring it back and strike. Using the palm, one of the palm strikes found in sabbat yaolong, to bring down and palm. Palm strike is made with the wrist where the thumb is. Thumb is, make sure it's tucked in so it doesn't make contact first, but rather the full hale point contacts first. Bring back and palm. Bring back and palm. This technique is mostly done going backwards, although you can do forward by going forward and grabbing and pulling back, but its main use is to come backwards. Bring your opponent in and strike. Bring in and strike. In this technique, a sudden release of geng power or fa jing power is used. This is very crucial in Sapbat Yolong. Although it's soft, it also the techniques act like whips, striking your opponent. Bring down, strike. Bring down and strike. Pull in and strike. And finish there. The next technique, we call this number 15. It's a very forceful dragon technique. Leading hand to rear back leg. So if your right leg's in front, your left hand is in front striking. This technique is to forcefully pull back on your opponent's arm while seize the throat. You can see this technique this time from the side. Very slowly we're moving forward. Notice there's a slight raise of the heel with the back leg. This is to get maximum turning ability into the strike, reaching out for your opponent's vital points on the throat and pulling back on the hand. Again, this will be shown in the application. Moving forward and returning. Slowly moving forward. Left hand claw, right hand pull back. Left hand pull back, right hand claw. Opposite leg to hand, clawing. Slowly moving forward, concentrating your power into the fingers. Sometimes training martial arts, best to practice outside sometimes, amongst the fresh air. This technique is to divert and strike using a deflection arm technique and moving forward. From the side we can see the hand is very relaxed and then acts like a whip, striking your opponent into the body. Deflect, move forward, deflect, move forward, deflect, move forward. From the front, deflect, move forward. This is found in the Sapbat Yolong form. Deflect, move forward. 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 With this technique, one needs to sort of turn their waist and their shoulders considerably. And to maximize the strike, one needs to relax and finally use using the full hao point to strike, or you can use your forearm. Now we can see slowly the action of the movement. Now let's take a look at the breathing exercises found in the beginning of the Sapbat Yolong form. The technique is known as Pokjern. One should breathe in as you're coming back, exhale as you push forward, and concentrate on the center of your palms, known as the Lao Gong point, pericardium number 8. Moving forward with the fingers this time and bring them down to your waist level. Breathe in, exhale. Breathe in, exhale. Breathe in. And exhale as you push forward. Going back to Pokazat. Using your palms. Breathe deep to the dancing point, which is just below the belly button. Again, going back to the technique, pushing forward, draw back, breathe in, and from the side we can see the Pokazat Qigong exercise. Push forward, bring back, breathe in, exhale. Focus the breath going down deep into the abdomen. At the same time, moving your palms back and forth. Concentrate on your breathing. Breathe in deep to the stomach and relax. Now let's take a look at the Sapat Yaolong form. We're going to demonstrate now the application of Sapat Yaolong. The first technique of Sapat Yaolong is a movement that goes down 1, 2, 3 and 4. This technique is very effective because it contains the essential palm strikes found in Sapat Yaolong form. Namely a strike coming with the palms on the inside, a backhand coming striking down, and finally over with a palm on the heel of the palm itself. So you've got 1 palm strike, 2 and 3. This is the shape of this particular movement found in Sapat Yaolong. As you move, flow. This technique flows gradually coming round and striking the appropriate point on the head. So for instance, the technique is found in the form, and obviously as a punch comes, this technique slides down here. We actually drag back down on the arm, upset this balance or energy, and then coming over with this backhand strike here. If this one was in the way as well, we also strike here, then we finally hit this palm strike, we hit this point on this inside, and then finally land a palm strike here. So the technique goes 1, 2. Now, if you block this one here, then we hit the inside. So it goes like this. That's the technique. 1, strike down. If he blocks, then we come over, we hit the pressure point here, come over, and finally land the point, strike on top of the head. The palm striker here strikes this one here also, or we can get a drag down on the palm here like this. Don't block. And then we can strike here. So that's that. This technique also goes all the way down like this. So it actually goes like that. So 1, 2. But if he blocks it with his hand, then this one comes in, also does the same thing, strike. And so it's a continuous movement of the technique, is continuously moving, block, like this. You never stand still if you block this time. You never stand still. So the technique goes 1, strike it here, drag it back down with the energy here, strike it inside of the neck, coming over on this point here, and then finally land the point on top of the head. 1, 2, the neck, but if it blocks, 3 and 4.
Now let's take a look at this particular technique, striking some of the major pressure points on the arm along where the major vein is, shown in the picture. We then strike the side of the neck with the backhand. This is also known as a palm strike. He hits the major points on the side of the neck, comes over in a figure 8 action, striking pressure point on top of the head, which is a stomach pressure point. Let's have a look at this technique in action now.
So this technique is a figure 8 movement, dragging back on these points here. You don't have to be deadly accurate. And just as I mentioned here, there's a major vein that runs down the arm and splits in 2 parts coming down here. That's why you drag the power back on itself. The next technique is exactly the same. It's like this. Again, one of the major palm strikes, which is this one. As I said, the sostavляют is based on body movement, absorbing the blows, parrying the blows to finally land a precise palm to your opponent's vital points. So we've got these techniques. Now we come into this one here. This one uses the palm strike downwards. As you come back, you step away. You need to do this action with this movement rather than just this. Because as you do this, again, with these same pressure points, coming back on itself and striking into the 2 pressure points here. Now here is the wall of the stomach. The stomach tract is here. And there's 2 pressure points here that are very dangerous. Striking this point eventually brings up the energy and will in time affect the heart. So it is a dangerous point, it is a sacred point, which is here. So for instance, this technique here, we come and see these pressure points that we've drawn here. As it comes in, we drag back and strike like this. That's that technique. That's that technique, and it comes like this. Pressing down, coming above. It's not a block on palm. It's a drag back. You don't have to wait for a punch to do this technique. While you're fighting, you strike and do this, like this. So you actually turn your waist, sending the power, creasing at the stomach, like this, at the waist. So this technique comes back on itself like this, and pressing down with a pushing 45-degree angle inwards like this. It's a very ancient Shaolin technique. So the technique comes as we come back, like this. So that's when you're fighting like this, and you see this technique here, you open him up, drag him back on these points here, open him up, taking his power away from his body, and then finally line the blow into the stomach itself.
Now let's take a look at this particular technique. Take the energy away with the left hand and send in a palm strike to the stomach pressure point.
The next technique is a movement that comes 1, 2, 3, then 4. So from here, 1, 2, this hand comes back, 3, then 4. This technique is used to divert and usually use your body like a twisting action, so you avoid these power coming in and finally strike. Then you're going to go back on the arm that you've already blocked and strike the same point that you struck in the very beginning, and then finally move forward as it reels back. This is the dragon moving back and coming forward. So this technique here, when you're fighting or whatever, or I always say when you're fighting, because you can't do these techniques standing still. You're not going to stand there like this and you're going to one, although it may work, it might not work. But if you punch me, this technique here is to deflect here. By deflecting, you're going to hit pressure point here, which we marked out earlier. 1, I'm then going to grab his wrist, move forward here. I mean, this strike is directly into the sides of the ribs. So 1, 2, 1, 2. The next technique is to grab here, pull him back, and as I do, I stamp on his foot here. So the technique is 1, I stamp on the foot, I've hit this point here, and grab again. So 1, 2, 3. And this point is obviously going to stamp on his foot. My foot is going to stamp on his foot. So you come in here. This technique is to strike some of the major points here. Firstly the heart. Firstly the heart. Then the liver. Here. Liver 13 or 14. Coming back on this point here, by grabbing or even just doing this is okay. As you do this, you change, stamp on his liver 3 point here, and then strike again to the liver point here. So the technique from here, you go 1, 2, 3, like this. When you've done that, then catch it with young seating techniques. So the whole principle, the whole movement goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the technique for this particular order of movements. This is the application. So it comes again. First, second, third. Remember, I've hit the foot. Here, and then fourth, and then as you come back with this technique, then here. Number 13, we call this technique number 13.
Now let's take a look at this technique. First we can see as the punch comes in, strike a pressure point which is near the elbow known as heart 3. Strike to the liver 13 point. Drag back on heart 3 again with the hand. Seize his wrist. Left foot strikes the liver point, and then finally seize in with 13 with seizing dragon palms moving forward. Again, 1, strike the first pressure point, heart 3, liver 13. Draw back, liver 3, strike liver 13 simultaneously, seizing the wrist, and finally push out with the strikes, moving dragon strikes.
The next Yaolong technique is absorbing and palming. It's a technique, again when fighting or when someone comes into attack, you take their energy or their arm, push them to the side, either turn around and strike them with some double palms. These are the palms that we're using in this technique here. Remember, we've used the backhand now we come into this particular palm strike, it's like this. We're using the edge. The edge is very special in attacking body pressure points, namely the chest, and exactly on this bit here and here, but on the back as well. The bladder points on the back, namely bladder 15, 13, 14 are effective, and also liver points, which is here, 2 ribs below the nipple, and on the back, exactly in line, are those points to be struck as well. There's a special technique of doing this technique, and the way to do it is with the palms. This is a very ancient pressure point, goes back much farther than we can imagine. But this pressure point here, we're going to strike. So, right. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the technique when we say, for instance, we're fighting mainly. We literally grab the arm. We can use it from the right stance, coming this way, or with the left stance, and then coming here. Now when we do this, we push him away, and then we're left with the back points, and we're going to strike double. Boom, boom. So, boom, like this. So as he comes in, 1 and 2 like this. Just where the muscle starts, the muscle here, we get in between here, and that's the point of strike. This point here, this point here. Strike. We can also use it from the inside. We can take it from the inside, leave him here, we absorb him here this way, take him, and then palm him here. So from here, we absorb. Now, you notice as he comes in, there's a shift onto the back leg, taking him, pushing him away, and then leaving himself over for the initial palm strikes to strike the chest. Or we can go from the inside, we can take him from here, push him to this side, and then palm him here. So coming with a punched up, come here, and then palm strike. These are the strikes that we use. So one thing is from the different. As we come in, we take him first, take him like this, and then able you to strike those particular points.
This technique to pull in, and as you push him away, use a double palm strike to the back pressure points, which are in line with the heart, liver and lung. Again from the side, we can see pulling him from the inside and strike the chest points, which is stomach points, just above the nipple. Now let's take a look at a variety of different skills from the sostavляют form. Now seen from a 45-degree angle. Now let's have a look at this technique. If someone grabs your hand, you return by grabbing his, pulling them down, and using the seizing hand technique. Again, we can see slowly. First, this particular technique will break the arm, and then you will seize him with a claw. And now let's see that once more. First, we can hit the 2 pressure points with the first technique, break his arm, then seize him with the claw. And let's see another skill from sostavляют, moving forward and claw, coming back, moving forward, back, then move forward. Now let's see this action slowly. First, heart strike to the under the armpit, heart point strike, move forward with the dragon claw to the eyes. Again, from the side. This technique is found in the beginning of the video. Now let's see the next skill, figure 8, striking, turning round, concentrating on the sweeping dragon, or turn. Now let's take a look at this technique slowly. This technique is best if you've got very long legs, so you really get out of the way of the person while sweeping his legs and come underneath his. Again, we can see as the person comes in, block his hand, strike with the leg, bring them down onto the floor. Block, sweep. If he does lift up his leg, catch it with your right hand, move forward, striking underneath the armpit. Again, we can see this technique. Sweep. If he lifts up his leg, and use the claw under the armpit. Now this is absorbing dragon, namely 2 and 3. Now from a close-up, absorb his technique, take to the side and strike, and he can return with this particular movement. See, this technique can be done continuously moving forward. And again, absorb, take, push back, continuously push away. Now let's take a look at this technique. First, using the figure 8 movement, if he blocks, move forward, pull him to the side, double palm strike to the back. Now slowly we can see that technique. First, using the technique, clawing the throat, and this time the figure 8 across his head. Now very slowly, using the techniques, deflect, strike to the face or maybe the stomach, and again going back to the figure 8 and palm strike to the back of the head. Now let's take a look at that technique slowly. First, taking back, hitting the pressure point on the hand, on the arm, elbow, strike low, pull back, palm strike, strike underneath the armpit or the face, and come up with a knee raise. Now let's take a look at that technique slowly. Take to the side, strike temple, bring back, claw to the face. The next technique, offensive dragon, seize the wrist, elbow, then to the face. Then finally land the figure 8 palms. Now this technique, absorb in, take to the side, palm strike, block, and again using the major palms to explain, finally knee raise to the spleen. Once again, let's see these group of techniques done slowly. Follow the sequences, all aiming at pressure points. No technique is without pressure point striking. And again slowly, this technique. Notice the technique's coming from the form itself. Follow closely and you can't go wrong. Now slowly deflect, hitting the bladder pressure point there, wrist, striking, and then finally land the palm to the back of the head. And again, that same group of techniques, combining them, striking, striking. Even a block is a strike here. Palm low, and thrust to the face or under the armpit. Finally, knee raise lift to midsection. And slowly take your opponent's force, absorb it, then move in. Grab the wrist, elbow, claw to the face, and in the major palms. Again, first absorb, spring back with palm strike, trap his hand,